Okay, clean pan that I washed and dried. It's warming up on just shy of medium heat. That's high, that's medium. I'm just shy of medium. 2 minutes, let the pan warm up. I've got room temperature chicken, so I took it out of the fridge maybe like half an hour ago or so it can come up to room temperature. I've got avocado oil, and then I've got some butter. This video is all about how to keep your chicken from sticking. Anyways, the old Coot here coming back at you with another exciting video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down some avocado oil, right, or vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil or you'll have a disaster. But avocado oil, get some butter in there. Let that sizzle. And basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to coat your pan. And yes, this is an exceptional amount of butter and oil and everything else in there. But if you want to keep your chicken from sticking, that's basically how you do this. You could do the whole Leidenfrost effect, right? Drop a bead of water in there, and then if it moves around, that's how you know, that kind of vibe. But anyways, my butter's looking good. It's starting to brown, so this is where I want to put my chicken in. So remember, room temperature chicken, very, very important. And it's very plain. There's really nothing on here except maybe just a little bit of some dry seasoning rub, some Italian dry seasoning rub, that kind of vibe. Once you put your chicken in, don't move it. Just let it sit there for a second. I'm going to put this one in kind of overlay. So this is about where you want to be. And what you do not want to do right now is you don't want to touch it. So once you put your chicken in, just leave it be. Let it sit. Let it go for at least about 2 or 3 minutes so that you can build up a nice little, crusty edge on the bottom side, right? The side that's touching the pan. And in about 2 or 3 minutes, if you wiggle and shake it, you'll notice that the chicken will release. Another crucial step is if you're going to use a stainless steel pan, this is an AllClad 10-inch, I believe. 10-inch, yeah. Try to get yourself something like this. These are Oxo Good Grips 10-inch, what are they called? Picker-upper thingers. Pinchers? I forgot the technical name. But anyways, tongs. Tongs. You want to get yourself something that has this kind of an edge where it's got like a nylon or a silicone type edge. If you use any kind of metal utensil in there, what's going to happen is you're going to scrape the thin layer of oil and butter that's basically acting as a cushion, like as a buffer between the chicken and the pan. It's that thin little layer of oil that right now is helping to keep the chicken from the sticking. So remember, just shy of medium heat, let your pan warm up for at least 2 minutes. What I'm going to do is, we've been in there now for about a minute, and I can talk to you while the chicken continues to cook. But as you can see there, the chicken's already starting to lift. See how we're starting to get a little bit of lift? Which means that the chicken is going to shrink a little bit, and it's going to help to pull it off of the bottom of the pan so that it can move around. Normally, you don't want to overcrowd your pan. Like 3 pieces would have been enough with some good separation between. But I've been doing this a while. I kind of know the limitations of the pan and how much chicken I can fit in there. But for you at home watching this video, or at work, or wherever you are, just try to leave yourself a little bit of space, right? Don't overcrowd the pan. Leave a little bit of space, and that will help to guarantee that oil moves in there. The oil and butter moves around there nicely. It kind of moves around like it's moving around like in an engine, right? Like in a car engine. And basically, we're at a point, we're at 2 minutes now of cooking time, I think, give or take. So now we're at a point where what I can do is I can just give the pan a little shake. See, and I've got a little bit of loosening, but it still has about another minute to go. So I don't want to touch it. I just want to let it do its thing. This one kind of sort of released. I'm sure in time this one will release, and this one will as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm gently going to do that in about 30 seconds or so. I'm going to do the same thing. Give the pan just a gentle nudge. What you can do is you can kind of do this kind of thing after about like 2.5 minutes or so. You can start to do this, and this will kind of help to move some of that butter around and the oil and everything else that's in there. But this is the whole concept. This time is on your side. You need to give the pan a chance to release the chicken, and it's just a matter of time, and it's this whole process. So anyways, we're coming up on about 3 minutes now, I would say we're at about 3 minutes of cooking time. So what I want to do is I want to give the pan like another gentle nudge. See now how you got a little bit of release there? This one released, this one released, this one is almost there. Seeing we're almost there. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for total slidage. So there you go. See how this piece is cooperating. This one's kind of there, this one's kind of there, this one is still kind of stickage. But what I could do now is I could flip this one over. So using my tongs, I'm going to go in there and just pick up and flip. And see that? No stickage whatsoever. Look at that beautiful crust that's building. Now again, when I lay this back down, I'm just going to lay it down and not touch it. Because if you try to move it, you're going to get major stickage and it's going to be a mess. And this one, the same thing. Let's see if it'll release, which it did beautifully. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing and just flip it and just leave it be and not touch it. This one, let's see if this one wants to cooperate with me. Yes, beautiful, perfect. I'm going to do one of these. I'm going to lay it down and not touch it again. And then here comes the big one. Oh, perfect, perfect. So now what I can do is I can go ahead and do my flip and just leave it be. So this would be the point, right now in the cooking process, this would be the point where I could season this. And the trick is light salt. If you do have to do any salt, you could do some pepper. You can kind of do whatever you want. So let me pause the video a second. I'm going to need 2 hands to do that. I'll be right back. Okay, I got my pepper on there, which I needed 2 hands for because I had the pepper grinder. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to salt it very lightly. So what I've got is I've got a mixture of kosher and Himalayan pink salt. What I'm going to do is I just grab literally just like a little pinch, and I'm just going to sprinkle very high so I get nice even distribution. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hit the chicken, not the pan, because if you get salt on the pan, in some cases that may help to contribute to stickage. So you want to try to avoid that. So try to get just the meat if you can. So a little bit of sprinkle there, a little bit of sprinkle here, a little bit of sprinkle up here. See, and I'm just over the chicken, just light, light, light. So now I would say I'm about, what was that, like a minute or so? Maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes on this side. And the same thing, you don't want to touch this. You want to just let it sit, let it do its thing. What's happening now is the pan is helping the chicken to release. And that oil that's in there, you could do a little bit of this if you need to, right? Just gently nudge your pan so that oil and butter has a chance to kind of get in there. But I would say 3 minutes on one side, maybe 3 to 4 minutes on the other side. The only way to know when your chicken is done is with a temperature reading. So what you can do is you can get yourself something like this. This is a ThermoPro digital meat thermometer. And what you can do is you can check it for temperature. What you're looking for is 165 degrees down there. See, poultry 165. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch hands. I'm going to go ahead and go for the biggest piece of chicken and go for the thickest part of it. So probably something like right here. I'm just going to go in, and we're at 122, 121. So the chicken is still raw. But this piece, I have a feeling might be done. Okay, this one is done. So this one I can take out. This really isn't the way you want to do this. But basically I can take this piece of chicken out. Let me pause here for a second. And we're back. Okay, I had to switch plates and get a nice clean plate. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out. Sorry, this one. Because it's pretty much done. Might have gone even a little bit over. That's okay though. And then what I want to do is I want to check this one now. I want to check the next smallest one. So 178, 182, this one's done. I can take it out. Right, same process. Look at how easy that lifted off. And then let's go ahead and check the next one. Almost there. I would say there we go. We just hit it. 167, 168. So this one's done as well. So what I want to do is take this one off as well. And look at that. Easy release. So it's just this one. So this one now should be able to move around, and I could probably move it back to the middle of the pan just so it has better, let's see, and no stickage as you can see. So I'm just going to move this one to the center of the pan just so there's heat all around it. The more even heat distribution on all sides, all around, the better it's going to cook. By the way, if you are getting a lot of splatter, you can use, if it'll work with me. You can use one of these. This is a silicone splatter screen. This one is made by, what was it? It was Beckenware. This was the Beckenware one. So Beckenware silicone screen, if you do need to cover this, if it's getting too hot on you. They come in different sizes, 10 inch, 12 inch. You kind of get a sense of what's going on there. But anyways, what I can do now is I can go ahead and recheck the temperature again. And it's still undercooked, so I'm waiting for it to hit 165 in the thickest part of the breast. So what I'm saying is this is chicken breast. That's the thin part over there. This is the thick part over here. What I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to hit 165 in the middle. And there we go. So depending on where you check it, I guess. Let's see if this one... Almost there. We're almost there. Almost there. Maybe another like minute or so and it'll be ready. What I can do is just help it along here. Move it around the pan. But that's how fast you can go from undercooked to cooked to overcooked, especially at this stage in the process where we're now, what are we? We're at like 9 minutes of total cooking time, right? 3 minutes on one side, 4 minutes on the other, 5 minutes, you know, depending on how thin or thick your chicken is. Let me just show you real quick. So there's a good example of how thin or thick the pieces are. In a perfect world, try to get your chicken pieces the same size. What you could do is when you're getting ready to put them in the pan, you can put a piece of, what is that, plastic wrap on the bottom, put the chicken breast in, put another plastic wrap on top and pound it out flat so it's completely flat. That way you'll ensure that you get nice, smooth, you know, cooking and even cooking throughout. So let me go ahead and do another temperature check here real quick. Check this side. Boom, that's good enough for me. Let's check this side, the stubborn side that just refused to cook. And now we're, I don't know why that one side just doesn't want to cook. Let's see. Let's see if it hits 165. Almost there. Getting there, getting there, getting there, getting there, getting there. There you go. Boom, we just hit it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shut off my heat. Go ahead and grab my chicken breast. Otherwise it's going to be too overdone. Lay that one down. Perfect. Okay, now, hardest thing in the whole process. Sit and wait and do nothing. Basically, the next step to getting... So we showed you all how to keep your chicken from sticking. What you could do now is you can make a nice little pan sauce with this. Like if you wanted to add some red wine, white wine, you wanted to add some maybe chicken stock or beef stock, or you could add some fruit juice to this. You could do like pineapple, mango, you know, sky's the limit. Rice wine vinegar, you want to do an Asian thing, throw some ginger in there. You can kind of do whatever you want. It's up to you. But at this point, the next step in the process of keeping the chicken nice and moist and tender is let the chicken sit, let it rest at least 5 minutes, at least half the time that it took to cook it. So I think we were at like 12, 13 minutes or so. I would say let it sit for 5 minutes. If you can let it sit for maybe even 10 minutes, probably even better. It'll still be hot. It'll still be warm. What you could do is you could cover it with some aluminum foil, right? You could do that kind of thing and just let it sit. But I find like just letting it sit on a plate, what's happening now is all the juices that were in there are having a chance to settle in place as the chicken kind of rests, quote unquote rests. If I were to cut into it now, you'd have like a gusher of juice that would come out and your chicken would get dry pretty quickly. So this way your chicken stays moist with each and every single slice. Plus, I don't feel like putting 165 degree chicken on my tongue at any point in time, anytime soon. So I want to let it come down to maybe like about, 90 degrees to me is warm and servable and kind of comfortable. And I don't have to fan the flames to kind of get it to cool down. But anyways, you kind of get where I'm going. With that being said, stay tuned. I'll be back. I'm going to do a little prep work. I'm going to make a little pan sauce here real quick so you can check that out. I'm the Old Coot, and I'll catch you all in the next exciting video.